Everyone. Dzień dobry, Panie i Panowie. My name is Elena Murawska. I'm a Program Management Officer at RIPE NCC. I'm based in Amsterdam. Originally, I'm from Ukraine. And thanks for being here. I know selecting an English-speaking presentation when you have a full program that's Polish-speaking, it's maybe not the obvious choice, but I'm very happy to see you here. So today I'm going to present RIPE NCC internet measurement tools, which we believe we do to serve you, network operators, and for the good of the internet. So the agenda is as following today. I will tell a few words about our organization, and I'll quickly run you through, but we still have 45 minutes, through 3 of the measurement tools services that we have at RIPE NCC. I'll also give you a sneak peek into the country report that we are currently working on. Yes, please join. And when you hear me giving some announcements about upcoming events, then you know that we are nearing the end of the presentation and your well-deserved coffee break is very soon. So first, I'm wondering if you are familiar with RIPE NCC. Does it ring a bell? Who knows? Yes, I see people nodding. Great. But I'll give still a quick introduction in case you don't know everything we do. So we are a regional internet registry for Europe, Middle East, and Central Asia. So this means that we allocate and register internet number resources to different organizations. We are a non-for-profit organization, so we are not commercial, and we support the community and the development of the internet. So to explain what RIPE NCC does, I thought I'll share our mission statement. There are 3 parts in that statement. I already mentioned 2, that we try to be the authority, so we are the authority on the unique internet number resources, because the registration must be unique, so that's essential for internet. And we also are a secretariat of the community. And Polish community is, of course, a part of the big RIPE community. So we are here also to support you. But today, I want to focus on our 3rd mission, which is that we are a neutral source of information and knowledge. And by that, we actively contribute to the stability and the evolution of internet. So here we are to work together with you for that very beautiful goal. So we accomplished that goal by trying and striving to be a center for excellence for data and for measurements and tools, which we provide for you. And as I said, today I'm going to talk about 3 of these measurement tools. So the first one is a routing information service. We call it RIS in short. So we have this tool since 1999, and since then we also kept all historical data that we gathered. So that's a very big massive of data. So the data collectors for this service are deployed on internet exchange points, and we collect raw BGP data from our peers. So that shows real-time routing information, which is opposed to information that you have in databases, which is not real-time. RIS is also a data source for many other services. So that was RIS very dry in a nutshell. This is perhaps, I don't have to explain to you because you are all professionals, networking professionals, but let me just remind you, why do we need to collect BGP data? So as you know better than I do, BGP doesn't have built-in security mechanisms. Also, the incidents, they happen quite often, unfortunately. And it's very difficult to troubleshoot routing problems because they are temporary, they don't last long, and the information at your looking glasses is also temporary. So by collecting this data for so long period of time and saving this data helps to create kind of global looking glass. So you can troubleshoot even incidents that happened like yesterday or a year ago. But also, one of the benefits of this is somehow it's still showing you the previous slide, sorry. That was the slide I meant to show. It creates better visibility, and better visibility means also greater security and lower risk of BGP attacks. So RIS is a community project, and we collect data on 23 root collectors. So you can see here the geographical distribution of these collectors. This is perhaps more interesting for you because it shows exactly where we do collect RIS data. And so if you are interested in sharing RIS data with us, and note that RIS data, it's only the traffic data, so you don't, the routing data, so you don't have to share actual traffic with us. You can see if you are on one of these points, and if you want to share your data. You can also do that in Amsterdam in our multi-hop hub. Currently, we have only 6 peers in Poland, so that's not much. So we only know what is RIS, why we need RIS, but we want to also know what is here for me. So why do I need RIS? So we believe that RIS is a very useful service, first of all, for network operators to troubleshoot incidents, but also for policy networks that can use this information to build better policies. We know that researchers are also very interested in this data, especially when something very major happens and interesting on the internet. They have all the data available to research it. So practically, the archived historical RIS data is available as raw data in form of MRT files. We also offer live stream and WHOIS query interface. And many visualizations in RIPE-Stat, that's another service I'll talk about later, are based on RIS data. So I have here the links for you. So later then the presentation will be uploaded by organizers. You can go by the links, but I also put some QR codes so you can scan them and find out more about RIS. So here I want to share something actually practical what our researchers do with RIS data. So this is a snapshot of RIS data for Belarus. I'll have the same data for Turkey, Ukraine, and of course Poland. So these visualizations were made by my colleague Emil Aban. So all the credits goes to him. I will explain what does it mean, because I see like you're surprised, like what I'm looking at. So that's not a geographical representation. That's more visualization of networks. Domestic networks are represented here by gray nodes, and pink nodes are foreign networks that provide transit for the domestic networks. Then they say domestic and foreign. They mean the gray are coming from organizations that are registered legally in that country, and the pink that are registered in some other countries. We only show here transit links, so no peer links, for 2 reasons. First, we don't have reliable data on peer links, but also this would make this picture very, very complicated. And you will see this is a very simple picture, because Belarus is a relatively small country, up to 10 million of population, and it has quite a centralized internet. So you can see that majority of networks are relying on 4 big networks for connectivity. So now Turkey, why we have chosen this country to compare? Because it's a much bigger country than Belarus. It's 8 times as big in terms of population, but we see still quite a similar structure to the Belarusian internet. So quite centralized and large dependency on a few networks. But there are much more different networks present in the country. And now it becomes even more difficult to look. I understand it takes energy from your eyes to comprehend what I'm seeing now. Like if you go back quickly to here, through here and here. So what we see, a very, very distributed internet. And since the war started, we at RIPE-NCC has researched what was the situation in this internet in Ukraine. So if you scan this QR code, it will bring you to an article that my colleague Emil Abel wrote recently about what is happening currently in the country. There is a lot of analysis and explanations which will make this more clear. But you see here like a mix of pink and gray dots. That means that there is not a single point which connects Ukraine, this internet outside Ukraine. And we believe that this is one of the factors that made Ukrainian internet so resilient in this time. And of course, you are the most interested in Poland. And while in Poland, we see slightly more aggregation, but still it's very comparable to Ukraine. So there are still a lot of networks, and there is also not one single point where they connect. And unfortunately, it's difficult to see because we only see this big, this large pink dots. And by the way, I think I forgot to mention that the bigger the dot, the more networks are relying on connectivity on that dot. But still, it's still very distributed. And we just had a presentation of your colleague from Orange, and Olena asked how many operators you have in Poland. So it's still a very large amount, like 1,000, if I remember correctly. So it's still a very good number. So it's up to you to draw the conclusions. We're just showing the data. And again, I remind you, we were able to make this data because we collect this RIS data. This is also just to illustrate what I just said. It shows snapshots for Poland on 3 different moments of time. It shows from which countries are coming the most like foreign interconnectivities. So we see that the picture haven't changed much, only that you no longer have Russia here in the picture, this Romania coming by. And again, this US doesn't mean that network is located physically in US. It means that the legal entity, the headquarters of that legal entity is registered in the US. So I don't have exact data on where the networks are located. You might have noticed a very big number of Russian networks for Ukraine, and this represents the current state of the internet in Ukraine on the occupied territories. And if you look at Belarus and Turkey, relatively low number of networks they interconnect. So another summary also to illustrate the visualization that we just had. It shows the number of domestic and foreign now-sense and routing, and also domestic and foreign transit links. You see, again, you can compare Ukraine and Poland, even though in Ukraine the amount of foreign IS and transit links are higher. But also, you can also see the low number for Turkey and Belarus. So now let's move to RIPE-STAT. And a quick introduction to RIPE-STAT. And first, I would like to ask a question if someone knows RIPE-STAT or using RIPE-STAT. I see if you... I haven't asked you, Alex, I know you do. So RIPE-Stat is information service for internet-related data, but it's also an open data platform. You can see the interface of that platform with a screenshot for RIPE-NCC data. So what does it provide? It provides information on IP address space and IS numbers, but also statistics on countries and domain numbers. So if you want to follow me while I'm explaining about RIPE-Stat, you can scan this QR code. You also have them there on those side screens, by the way, if it's too far from here. And it will bring you to RIPE-Stat page where you can test things while I'm talking. Before we go into intro, like small demo, a few words about data sources for RIPE-Stat. So you see it's quite large amount, more than 35. So it does have registration data from us, from RIPE-NCC, but also from other internet registries. It has BGP routing data, which we just discussed, from RIS. It has active measurements from RIPE Atlas, which I will talk more about in a few minutes, MLab and Speed Checker and many other data sources. So you notice that we not only use our own RIPE-NCC data sources, but also from other providers. And we constantly add new data sources, so that platform is growing. So if you have RIPE-Stat now on your phone, it's good. If not, just follow me on the screen. So this is what you get, then you start searching. And you see in the search, you can type any IP address or prefix or IS number or country code or fully qualified domain name. And you will also have, like here on the left, some suggestions. They are pulled from your network, so you don't have to remember your IP address. It will be on the screen. But also some random suggestions, like if you're interested to look in other places on the internet. Then the use cases, like what information can you get on that resource, it of course depends on the type of the search. So you have different info cards for different type of search question. So if you look at Poland as a country, you will receive this view. So it shows country routing for V4 and V6. So it's how many prefixes are seen on the internet and how many prefixes are announced and how many IS numbers are seen. You see RPKI information and Atlas probe information. Also on the top, you can change the time frame. So here I have it, I believe, for last 10 years. But you might change, I want to have last month, or I want to have specific time in the past that I'm interested in. So that's a big advantage that we keep all historical data. And now just quickly show you a few use cases. I won't explain them in detail. They are quite complicated, but still interesting. So for example, BGPlay, that shows you the routing history related to a specific set of resources. It's a very nice visualization. Everything moves, so it's really a play. And if you want to know more about each of these info cards, you can, on the top, there is like information side, you can expand, and it will explain to you in detail what you are seeing. Oh, I skipped one. So routing consistency is another example that you can compare like objects in routing registries, which are static, what is actually happening on internet. And if applicable, it also shows you RPKI status. So going too quick. Upstream visibility, another interesting one, it shows you routing data for specific prefix. Or you can do like a quick routing check on your resources. And there are a lot of info cards that are shown to you. Like if you don't expand them, you get a view like in the glance, you can expand them to see more details. So that's a lot of cases to play around. I just showed you a few. just to hope that you will be interested to use it yourself. Also, what I haven't shown, but I would like to mention that RIPE-stat data, like everything that you have seen in this visualization, it's also available through the public API. So you can build your own visualizations and monitoring tools if you feel like. So now the RIPE Atlas. So this is the last measurement tool that I would present today. And is anyone familiar here with this RIPE Atlas? Oh, great. And hosting an Atlas probe? Super. But still many who don't. So please, those who knows everything, bear with me, but I'll explain the basics a bit. So a RIPE Atlas is a RIPE-NCC Internet measurement platform. So it consists of a global network of devices, Atlas probes or anchors that actively measure internet connectivity, like in real time. This data can be accessed by anyone, so not only the few heroes who in this room who host Atlas probes, and also what people can do with RIPE Atlas is perform their own customized measurements. But I'll tell about that in more detail a bit later. So how do we collect the data? As I said, these are global network of devices. Devices coming in two types, anchors, there is a bigger picture, and probes. However, the picture doesn't scale, so they are a bit different in the real life. So the picture of Atlas probe is the older version, it's version 4. We have currently more than 12,000 of these probes around the world and almost 800 anchors. The difference is that probes are smaller devices that are easy to, you can even plug in them at home. Anchors, they require more stable traffic, so we do them at data centers. But our anchors have also more features. So that's what you choose, what you like. Since a few years, we also provide a software version of both devices. So you might prefer them for logistical reasons. And then it comes to anchors. Like if you want to host an anchor, you need to pay. It's not expensive, but still. But software anchor you can install without cost. Poland. We have quite a good representation of Atlas probes in Poland. So you can see here the geographical representation. However, there are many of them that are abandoned, like 314, and much less connected. So if there is anyone in the room who has a probe at home that is not connected, please bring it back online. And we also have 9 anchors in Poland. So here we see the most populated networks in Holland and in Poland. I'm from Holland, that's why I said Holland. And they're covered by Atlas probes. So the bigger one is TPNet. It has Atlas probes. But what is interesting, the second one most populated and the third one most populated does have any. So do we have here someone who is affiliated with those networks? No, I really hope there will be someone in the room who will say yes, and I'll tell them, scan that QR code. It will bring you to the page. There you can apply for a probe. So if you are not in the room, but you know someone who might be from those organizations, let them know.
Those are mainly GSM.
That's why they're not here. That's a good point. Anyway, you got my point. So there is another one, P4Net POS. And that's also mobile. That's actually good information for us. Thank you. Yeah, that's true. So that's why we like to come to the conferences, because we have our own picture from Amsterdam using tools, but you have different knowledge that we can share together. So what you can do with RIPE Atlas, so at RIPE-NCC, we run our own measurements. We run trace routes between all anchors, and we provide this data like publicly at RIPE-Stat, etc. So even if you don't host a RIPE probe, you can use that data. It could be useful for you. However, if you do want to make your own measurements, like what happened on my network, how my network is seen from outside, why I can't connect that customer, then you need to be able to do customized measurements. And many use cases for that. Again, I think it's not worth time describing all of them. Again, if you want to know more about these use cases, you can scan the QR code. But my message is that it can be really beneficial for you, for your daily work. And I hope your colleagues who do host probes, I hope you guys do customized measurements. Do you? Like, have you ever tried? Okay, Alex did. So you can ask Alex how to do that. So, and for whom these customized measurements are available, they're not available for everyone. So it's for hosts of anchors and probes, for sponsors. So if you provide money, because making an Atlas probes costs money and it's done by sponsors' money. So if you are a sponsor, you can also benefit from customized measurements. But also if you're a RIPE-NCC member, you receive so-called credits, which you can use and do your own measurements. So we put a credit system. It's not for free. You need to kind of use these credits. Like at school, you get stars, then you are a good boy or girl. Because we wanted to limit it a bit, like the usage of the system. Because if it would be completely free, then we might have an overload of the system. So you can earn the credits and you can spend the credits. So this was Atlas in a nutshell, very short. And again, like Alex saying, he's done all of that. Alex, stop talking. I'm talking about you. He doesn't hear. So if you want to talk to him later, you see he likes to talk. He will be happy to talk to you about all the stuff that I just told. So now you know more about measurement tools. I want to show you what we at RIPE-NCC do with those tools. So one of the things that we produce is Internet country reports. And now my colleagues are currently working on the 11th edition, and it will also cover Poland, along with Hungary, Slovakia, and Czech Republic. So I'll give you a sneak peek in that report that is not published yet. So you are the very first audience ever hearing about this. In general, these reports are lengthy, 30+ pages full of text and visualizations, very nice read. Then we do like analysis on market players, number resource holdings and transfers, because as a registry, we do have data on resources and transfers, like IPv6 readiness, etc., etc., etc. So they're really very interesting. So I personally like reading them for any country, but if it's about your own country, it might be even more exciting. And before coming here, I asked the colleagues, can you please give me something I can already share to the public? And they said, no, it's not. It was not going through designers yet, but I convinced them it will be good enough. Just a little preview. So this picture shows you out-of-country paths for IPv6, IPv4. So I give you a few seconds to look at it. So, and you see, like for Poland, there are quite some paths that live in the country and then enter in the country again. And some are traveling quite far. Maybe they like to travel. That surprised us. Also, knowing the fact that Poland has quite a few exchange points. So I don't remember exactly the amount of how many are in Poland. Do you know? 3 or 4? No, I thought it was more. 20 20. So we have 3, 4, 20. Anyway, we don't have answer for this question. So this is something maybe you can tell us, and I'll be very curious to learn what would be your idea. So please talk to me or to any of my colleagues in the coffee break. So another one, again, this is one of the many visualizations which will be in the report. It shows Poland's international connectivity. So we have here on the right the top 10 organizations that provide international connectivity and we see that they have quite diverse upstream providers that we believe is good. And for example, Lumen is upstream provider for how many? 8 of Polish providers. We also see that Orange Polska, which is the biggest IP holder in Poland, because the numbers they show the amount of IPs, relies on 2 providers. One of them is Arelion, which is now, this is formerly Telia Carrier, and Orange International Carriers. Again, it's just a fact. So, it's up to you what you do with this information, and we hope you can gain some interesting insights from this data. So if this sneak peek inspired you, I really advise you to keep an eye on the announcements. You can do that by following our social media. For example, everything will be published on this Twitter handle or on LinkedIn. This report will be published on 20th of June, so a bit more than a month. You can have a look how the reports look like on the link, which is here. We publish there are all previous country reports. And every time we publish a new report, we organize open houses. These are online events for the local community where we present our reports and discuss them. So these events are online, free. It's like 1 or 2 hours. So the announcement when we will host this open house will be also on our social media. So we would love to see you, and we would love you to read the report and then discuss it with us in the open hour. So again, the QR code will bring you to all our published country reports. There are 10 of them. So, and upcoming events. And I promise that means that your coffee break is near. First, the RIPE meeting, RIPE 86. I hope I don't need to introduce this event for you. But just a background information. This is the largest meeting for the RIPE community, and you are the part of the RIPE community. We hold them twice a year. Next one will be next week in May in Rotterdam from 22 to 26 May. You can still register for that event. Again, I prepared all the links and QR codes for you, so it's easy. If you want to make it to Rotterdam, this is also available as online participation. And while in online participation, you don't have the vibe of real meeting, which we also have here, but the advantage is it's for free, and you don't have to ask your manager for permission. Are there here in the room RIPE NCC members, like LARs, LEARs? Yes. So parallel to this event, we also have general meetings for RIPE members. And I believe like any of you is somehow affiliated with someone who is a RIPE member, because only if you are a RIPE member, you can have IP addresses. So if your business is related to having IP addresses, you are a RIPE member, RIPE NCC member. So we also have general meeting, and this is only for members, a parallel event. And I really think it's important to participate because members vote on important issues. This year it's going to be a new charging scheme, and they will elect 3 people on the executive board. So So executive boards are managers of my director. So these are people from the community who tell us, the RIPE-NCC, how we should work and what we should do. So please register. So currently, I checked this information like just before giving this presentation. So we have 687, so almost 700 members, RIPE-NCC members in Poland, and only 86 have registered so far. So please register. And if you register for the RIPE meeting, you have to register separately for the general meeting. So don't think I register for the RIPE meeting, I'm covered. So to register for the general meeting, you need to go to your LAR portal. So people who are admins, they know. And my colleague who was talking half of the time while I was speaking and didn't pay attention to my remarks, he asked me to give to tell one thing. So Alex is, as myself and Olena, and from Ukraine, but he's also currently based in Ukraine. He will be at a RIPE meeting, and he will bring humanitarian aid, and he's collecting old desktops, planchettes and phones for children to follow lessons from the occupied and occupied territories. So if you have it now, or you are going to a meeting, to the RIPE meeting, please take it with you, or take it, you're leaving tomorrow, unfortunately. Yeah, so I thought maybe... No, I can't. I only have hand luggage, sorry. Okay, maybe Gerardo. Or maybe Olena. So if you still have it at home and you are from Krakow, please.
But I take some boxes from Keep Ukraine Connected. It's why.
Okay, and the last one is RIPE-NCC Days in Sofia. So RIPE-NCC Days is a different concept of the meeting. They are country-focused. It's a different country, however, you might have some interest in there. So they are for the local community to discuss issues on the local internet. So again, all links and QR codes are available for register. And this meeting is open for everyone, so you don't have to be from that country, and they are also for free. So this is the end of my presentation. They made it nicely on time. And I want to remind you that there are two other colleagues of mine at this meeting. Alex, you already know too well by this time, and Gerardo. So Gerardo will be presenting tomorrow on anti-abuse, how to set up anti-abuse process, handling anti-abuse process in your organization. His presentation is tomorrow at the stream 1 at 1 o'clock. And any of us will be happy to take questions, to hear your explanations about the internet in Poland, and to follow up on anything that you have heard today. So, dziękuję bardzo. It was a pleasure, and see you around.